Okay, great. Now that we know more about the dashboard, we are ready to examine the shell and see how we can code in Jupyter. The field you see here is called a cell. You can access a cell by pressing Enter. Once you've done that, you'll be able to see the cursor, so you can start typing code. The gray box is called Input Field. Now, you are in edit mode. The green cell border and the little pencil in the top right corner indicate that as well. To close edit mode, you have to press the Escape button. As I press Escape, I'll go back to command mode, which will allow me to edit the notebook as a whole. This is why the cursor and the pencil disappeared. The cell border turned back to gray, and its left margin is blue. Now, I'll press Enter again. I will put a short code that says X is a list composed of 4 numbers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. After that, I can ask the computer to print this list for me by typing X. I can execute these commands in 2 ways. The first one is to hold Control and then press Enter. By doing this, the machine will execute the code in the cell, and I will stay there, meaning I will not have created or selected another cell. Observe that an output field with the same number as the input field appeared. Input and output fields of the same number are grouped together. The output represents the machine's response to your commands provided in the corresponding input, and the respective field cannot be modified. The second option allows for a more fluid code writing. To execute the same code, hold Shift and then press Enter. The previous 2 commands are being executed, and then a new cell where you can write code is created. If you use Shift and Enter, you can continue typing code easily. It is amusing that you can cut, copy, and paste cells. You can use the buttons on the main menu. Since we are keen supporters of ergonomics, we suggest you get used to the keyboard shortcuts. When coding, you will mainly have to use the keyboard, so it's worth memorizing different keyboard combinations that would allow you to work faster. Let's see how we can apply shortcuts in practice. I will cut this cell by selecting it, and then pressing the X key. Remember, you can always use the arrow keys to navigate along your notebook file. So, I will move up and then directly press the V key to paste it. Voila! My cell has moved up here, below the cell I had selected before I pressed the V key. Now, I will press C to copy the same cell. I will use the arrow keys again to go down this time, and, at the end, I will press V again. Apparently, this cell was copied and pasted below. The other 2 buttons in the menu cannot be substituted by keyboard shortcut combinations. They allow you to move a selected cell up or down, just as I am doing right now. Observe that the corresponding output field moves along with its input cell. Lovely! Instead of carrying out a command with Shift and Enter, you might prefer clicking on this button with the mouse. The result will be the same. What is interesting is that when you work with more complex code that requires tougher calculations from the computer, while running the code, a little star will appear over here. Sometimes, this process might take too long to complete, so, to stop it or break it, this classical stop symbol can do that for you. 3 other shortcuts could accelerate your coding a lot. Suppose I have selected this cell. After I press the A key, a new empty cell will be inserted above. If I select the same cell and press B, another cell will be created just below. Imagine the last step was a mistake, and I need to delete that empty cell. In this case, it has already been selected, so I can press the D key twice, and it will readily disappear. Wonderful! All the cells we saw so far were code cells. Let's see what is a markdown cell. It is a cell that contains strictly documentation, text not executed as a code. It will contain some message you would like to leave to the reader of the file. To convert a selected cell into a markdown cell, You should either expand this list and opt for Markdown, or simply press the M button. Press Enter to access the cell and type some text. When I run this cell, the output will be a simple statement. Now, if you want to turn a Markdown cell back to a code cell, select it and opt for Code from this drop-down menu, or press the Y key. To conclude, there are two advantages of using Jupyter. First, when your code becomes longer, Markdown cells turn out to be useful, as they allow you to leave comments and explain the solution you've created. This is why practitioners love to use them. The other benefit of using this app is you can select and execute whichever cell you want to. You need not run all the previous cells to run a particular cell. This allows for solving a problem in pieces and saves a lot of computation time. This was a long but indispensable lesson. We went through everything you need to know before you start coding. From the next section onwards, we will focus on Python. Thank you for watching.